Good morning.
Good morning.
And
How we doing?
Are we still muted?
I don't know. Nope, we're good. I've just checked us on the Twitches.
Oh, okay.
We're not muted anymore.
We're not muted. We keep doing that. We keep muting ourselves.
Well, we mute ourselves at the wrong times and not be muted at the wrong times. Wait a minute.
Yeah, something like that. We're testing different things, testing different ways of broadcasting, switching scenes, automating mics and feeds and so on. Hey, did you notice something?
Yes, I did notice something.
What did you notice?
That I sneezed and everybody heard it.
I don't know if everybody heard it. I know I heard it.
I actually heard it on my feedback from the from my Xbox One. I was like, "Oh, I hope that didn't go out." And then I was like, "Ooh."
No, but, that's not what I. That's not what I was meaning.
Oh, what were you meaning then?
Did you notice that we had a different entry music or countdown music?
We did, didn't we?
We did. And
I noticed we had it like listed on the page.
That's right, because I think that was we hinted at it. I'm thinking last week or the week before, or 2 weeks ago, or 2 fortnights ago. That's getting a little confusing as well.
It's one fortnight ago.
One fortnight ago. This week, I think we're going to discuss copyright or the use of other people's work in streaming.
It's something that's been a pretty hectic topic lately from what I have seen online. Now, what I have seen is that we are getting a lot of people, if you will, are getting into trouble. And, yes. I see it on some of the streams that I watch. And they're like, hey, stop it, don't play that, or don't play that music, or even just singing a song. Twitch streamers are all aflutter about not wanting to run afoul of DMCA takedowns.
Well, they are real. And the thing with DMCA takedowns, there's multiple levels of takedown. Sometimes they'll just mute your VOD. Sometimes they will just delete the offending clip. And sometimes they'll just kick you out for if you've been knocked a few times before, they'll just suspend you for a while and eventually ban you. The thing is, it's not YouTube and it's not Twitch that is to blame here. No, they're doing everything as per the legislation that covers them, because they're not the one broadcasting, so they can't be sued. However, the owner of the copyright is the one that is issuing the notice, and they legally have no choice but to act on that notice.
Yes and no.
Okay,
so
explain it to me.
Here's where we're gonna have a fight. Let's go. Ready? Here we go. Shall we drop into Verdansk?
You and me in the gulag.
In the gulag. Get yourself warmed up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Gonna throw rocks at you.
Exactly, right? Because we're on the same team normally, so but we still throw rocks at each other. No, I agree that this is, most companies have, if you own a copyright, the only way that you can protect that is to utilize the systems. Absolutely. They have to reach out. If you're not using content properly, yes, you should be struck. My problem is in cases, so there's a gentleman who streams on both Twitch and has a YouTube channel. His name's Tio. I started watching him years ago because he did Rainbow Six Siege videos.
Okay.
I'm big into Rainbow Six Siege, but he's a variety gamer, so he plays a whole bunch of different games. His outro music on both Twitch and on YouTube was something that he purchased from someone that was then sampled by a quote unquote artist.
Okay.
And then that artist's record label went out and copyright struck all of his work.
Yeah, but at that point, like the way, because Wireless Life and I got a copyright strike that was submitted against AZ Update for the opening music.
Right.
And we contested it because we have, and in the description, because of the Common Creative license or Creative Commons license that work is published under, it says that it's attribution. So in the description, we have to say who we got it from, where we got it from, and who the artist is. So we did that. The description of the strike was some guy, the same as you, some guy who used that Creative Commons license in his work, and then YouTube, and then but he made a like a medley of different songs that he made with that opening, and then he copyrighted striked us because we were using the same, but we contested it, provided the information where we got it and everything, and YouTube took it off. So there was no skin off our name.
Except for one problem. You're not using, AZ Update is not trying to monetize.
No.
So during that whole process, your monetization would be shut off. Well,
yes.
a lot of these systems are automated bots that go out and find this stuff.
Yeah.
And so they copyright strike you within hours of you posting. And in this case, Tio is a professional streamer and gamer. His streams and his YouTube videos were getting demonetized immediately. And that's how he makes his money.
Yep.
And so, but he clearly owned the copyright. It's an automated bot that was acting improperly. But YouTube, he had to respond. And the way YouTube, and this is where I get into, I totally agree that we have to protect the IP of people. If I create, we've been super lucky thanks to on the Patch and Switch show.
Yeah, the other show.
Yeah, the other show, the one last week. Yeah. Joey knows a lot of great artists, and we paid for an artist to create our lead-in and lead-out music.
Yeah.
The wonderful DJ Rob Hayes.
Yeah.
But we paid him, and we use that, and we still, it's in our role. You'll see that, hey, if you like this music, go check out Rob's, website. Here he is. Even though we paid him, we do that.
Yeah.
And the song that we utilize, if you will, for our theme song is Getting Real, and then there's another one for the outro. I bought those off of a digital media site. They are I have licensed them for use in streaming and YouTube. It's Getting Real, and then there's another one. So we'll get more into this today, folks, and unfortunately we're gonna get a little legal here. So definitely get out your. Yes, this is Fuel Snobble. Yes, this is the glitch-free stream. Actually, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little live site review here.
We're trying to be glitch-free.
Oh my goodness. So
it may have something to do with the clause aura.
It does. So let's say hi to everybody in the chat room that we got today. We've got Astroblog and Lootly, Academy Impossible. Is that Chazrich? I think that's it. Dino Evol. I wonder if that's Thready.
Dino Evolve.
Fuel Snobble, I Am Per, TE Cable Guy, the Infotech Gamer, and Wireless Life CDN, Mr. Anthony himself. Thank you so much for the shout out this morning on AZ Update. I very much appreciate it. I give you heck all the time, but you are awesome.
He actually got your name right this morning, though.
Yes, he did. I was like, the audio guy, Steve. Yep. So thank you very much. It's taken how long? or did you whisper it in his ear as he was getting ready to say it?
No.
No.
Anyway, so yeah, he says he had to practice many times. Yes, I actually hear him practicing when we're like waiting to go live, and he's like, okay, Steve the audio guy.
And the funny part was I almost didn't make it this morning. That would have been even funnier.
And then you should copyright that name and strike him when he gets it wrong.
I should copyright all the others. And
all the others, yes, that's right.
Oh, yes. Well, let's talk about what happened last week with Patch and Switch. My goodness, that was the only word we could really call it was Charlie Foxtrot. That is like, at least, we're trying to be PG here and family friendly on this channel. If we were on my channel right now, there would be a whole bunch of.
Yeah,
but
that's why we have that big.
It's very helpful that we can bleep ourselves out. The only problem is we can't dump. You can't dump. We're not on a delay enough to be able to dump out as it starts. We have to be able to self bleep.
Self bleep. That's right.
But so last week I was all set for the Patch and Switch show. Got all myself set up. I've got everything all set up. And then the last thing I do is join the call in Teams.
Okay.
That was my problem.
Oh, joining the call in Teams?
The minute I fired up Teams, my computer blue screened.
Oh, nice.
I was like, huh? Okay. Let me try this again. So that happened pre-show. I got things stabilized. I'm like, okay, this is fine. Everything's good. We get into the show and I crash again. And I'm like, or pre-show, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I go again, and the first time I got a video memory error, because I look at the codes whenever I get a blue screen. I at least check what the error code is.
Yeah.
Second time, I got a memory error in general. I'm like, what is going on here? So then we got into the show and it crashed one more time. And that's when, just for those of you who know, I keep a separate device on the call. I quickly switched to that device and said, hey guys, I'm having Teams issues. We need to jump to Skype. And that was a bit of a problem because I was not friends with Joey on Skype. So we're trying to figure out how to get him into the call without him being a friend. Rick was able to bring in because he was friends with both of us. And then we switched over to the Skype call. And then there were a couple times people may have noticed where the video froze and restarted in Skype, where I had video issues with Skype. I'm like, what in the heck is going on? So I literally was, I hate using the word literally like that, but I'm sitting back after I get everything set. I'm not even putting myself into scenes. I'm really restricting how much I, change the scenes, do whatever. We get done with the show and I'm just, my head has just got a nice little welt. And I had taken the day off to work on my taxes. But I said, F this, I need to figure out what's wrong with my system. So, yes.
Taxes. I almost threw up a little bit in my mouth there.
I know. So I start digging into it. Come to find out, I had updated my video drivers on Wednesday last week. And there was a problem between specifically Teams, but also Skype and these video drivers.
What video card do you have in there? Is that the
I have
3080s?
I have a NVIDIA 3080.
Oh. Well.
Yes. Oh, now I have to, when I edit this video, I'm going to have to blur that out now. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Sorry, it did just the last second.
Yeah.
Because I've been looking for a 3000 series NVIDIA for
everybody. I know. There's still people looking for Xbox One X's or Xbox Series X's and Series S's and PS5s and the 30,000 series cards. Nobody can find these things because there's a shortage. There's just a worldwide shortage. So, so that's what happened last week. I have nobody to blame but myself.
Well, I know while you were running through these problems, I had the OBSs fired up on my end, and I had the code to connect to Twitch, and Joey was like, "Okay, let's give him one more minute. If he doesn't come through, we'll connect to you." And so the backup plan, the failover plan was in place.
We had the active failover ready to go.
That's right. Well, it's more of a passive failover at that point.
True. It's actually caused me to take a look at. I'm actually going to set up StreamYard.
Yes, and
as a backup account.
So the StreamYard is what we use in
AZ Update.
AZ Update. There's a lot less control over what you can do.
But it'll give us the option to go live.
Yeah, there's a lot less. You don't have a lot of control in terms like what the music that you can play. Like it's much different because you really have only two feeds. You have your video feed and you have your audio feed. You don't you can't insert another feed unless you feed it into your own audio feed and then it plays out.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's all kinds of stuff we can talk. Actually, maybe we do a show on using other passive aggressive failover. Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Cell, it may have been the way and I have to give Rick and Joey credit. When we get into those situations, they just have to sit back and wait for me to fix it, and it's the worst feeling in the world knowing that I'm letting them down. So, but those are the days. I will say we have several times when this has happened where we end the call pretty quick after the show is done.
I gotta go.
Exactly. We're like, I don't want to talk right now. So, yep. So it was a video driver. I have actually checked an update came out on Monday this week, and it actually had in its update notes about Teams and Skype having issues. So I'm like, ta-da!
I try not to update my video drivers. Video drivers for me is the same as the firmware or the BIOS on my machine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't screw with it unless there's a problem I'm trying to fix.
I have been having some issues.
Yeah. Okay. So you were trying to fix something. For me, it's working perfectly. So I don't care if there's an update to it. I'm not updating it unless it's a security update for a 0 day or something like that. Then good.
Yeah. No. In my case, I was trying to resolve some game issues.
Okay.
With a game that I've been playing a lot of lately, Diablo. So I wanted to make sure that worked.
So you mean leisure kind of impacted work?
It did in this case. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry to have been witness to your struggles last week. I'm glad that everything's going better. We are going to try to have a glitch-free stream today.
And we probably will, and that'll just upset Joey and Rick even more.
Are they in the? They're not in the. Oh no, they're not in. I know Joey's up.
They're not in chat today. Nope.
I know Joey's up because I talked to him earlier, and Rick is busy on a call. So In a meeting. Oh, that's right. He's preparing for build. So
Yeah, we've got build next week. Unfortunately, because of just to let everyone know, 7 days since last glitch. Yes, we should probably put that on the profile. How many days since last glitch? That's actually not a bad idea as a joke. I might have to do that.
The safety record, 0 days since last accident.
We should also do how many days since Rick's last trip to the ER.
Or the last claused piece of hardware.
We love to give Rick hell, but he's actually not as bad as we make him out to be.
Okay.
Agree, Pierre. Agree.
Oh yes, you're right. You're right. All right. It is reward season at Microsoft, so he's going to be playing with my little slidey bar soon. So.
Wow. Do I need to edit that as well?
The reward slidey bar.
Okay. Anyways, no. So next week though, unfortunately with the way they plan build this year, I am going to be taking my second trip in 18 months next Wednesday.
Oh. Personal trip?
Personal trip. I'm flying to New York to see my family.
Oh, that's nice.
My mother specifically. She turns 80.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I don't think I'm going to make it there.
To 80, the party to 80. Gotcha. So, yes, and Fuel Sobble, yes, I am flying. I've taken one trip already to, it's not post-Corona. We're still in Corona. Sorry, man.
Sorry. Oh, we are vaccinated.
I am vaccinated. The person I'm flying with that I'm sitting next to is vaccinated. I am flying with N95 masks underneath a cloth mask. I don't trust anyone else on the plane to when they say, "Oh, I'm vaccinated." I don't trust them.
Are you allowed scuba gear on a?
No. I've actually looked into that.
Your own oxygen tank.
Exactly. Wouldn't that be nice? You know, I'm okay with the aircraft, and I understand how the aircraft works as far as them, how they purge the air. It's just I don't trust that other people are being honest about who was it? There's a good TikTok this week where someone was like, that got reposted over to Twitter. And said, I can, CDC says I don't have to wear a mask. Great. But I have to trust that other people. And then they had a whole bunch of videos from the from throughout the year of people who were fighting wearing masks and stuff. And it comes back, the person's wearing a mask. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep wearing it.
Yeah.
So
if we get back to the topic of the day,
yes.
By the way, I'm
not going to be a part of any live streams next week if we do any.
Ah, okay.
That's where that was going.
Well, I am, because I'm doing a couple of table talks during build, and if there's a show next Friday and you're not there, then that's probably...
I have time to do it. I'm trying to... Actually, that's the other reason why I'm setting up StreamYard.
Let them do it? All right, so if we go back to the topic of the day, and we talk about using other people's work in our streams, we've already mentioned that our opening, we were using, where is it? All right, there's the view I was looking for.
Yay!
We were using royalty-free music for Twitch from a company called Frequency Music. And I've gone to their website and said, okay, can I use this music on Twitch? And it says, yes, you can you can play it, but as long as there's a panel that says music provided by Frequency, and I downloaded their panel there, inserted it in our scene, and that way we are covered. So there are ways to use music, and there's many different ways to acquire music. And you've already mentioned that you've bought from the artist directly for
Yes.
patch and switch. AZ Update, we're using an open source, but we're attributing the credit where the credit needs to be based on the Creative Commons licensing scheme. And not all Creative Commons are created equal, because there
No,
are
they aren't.
multiple versions, multiple licenses. You really have to be careful where you're using that. In terms of
Can you give me a tight shot real quick?
can I give you a tight shot real quick?
Tight shot.
Wait a minute. There.
Testing and production and patch and switch are not legal entities. We cannot give legal advice. We are just giving generally known information that's available on the internet. Please follow up with any legal professional for full licensing information and how-tos. Thank you.
Yes, we are not lawyers, and sometimes we need lawyers.
I should have. Technically, I guess with the Microsoft Legal, I have one on retainer for everything but employment law.
Yeah, I know that when we did get our DMCA strikes, the first person I told was Anthony. The second person I told was our CELA representative, and said, "Here's what's happened. What do I do?" She says, "Is it an official Microsoft broadcast?" I said, "No." And she said, then she's like, "You're on your own." Is the word Microsoft plastered all over this?
No, but Azure is.
Azure is, yeah. It's done. So yeah, but it's not a first party. Anyway, they did give us some advice on how to counter it, and we used the advice, and it worked out well. So yes, somebody, I Emperor saying Aris Heller to the rescue, which I was going to be my next. So you can go also to Streambeats. Streambeats either directly on the website. So if you're a content creator, if you're creating videos that you want to use, offer void in Utah. What is that?
I Emperor had a skill testing question may be required, not applicable in Quebec. See dealer for details. Do not use it if you have these side effects.
The thing with Quebec, and because that's where I'm from, and we've done a lot of events there, is that there's a rule in Quebec that every time you have a giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have if you have a conference and then you're giving away a piece of software or a freaking sticker,
mm-hmm.
You have to register with the province, and you have to pay the tax on the value of the thing that you're giving away.
Oh my goodness.
So you're giving away like an Xbox, so you have to pay the government the amount that the tax would be if the person would have bought the Xbox in the store.
Even if you bought it in Quebec.
Even if you bought it in Quebec, yes. So it's a bit of a double dipping.
Oh, nice.
And because you have to register in advance and have your draw or whatever you're calling it, your prize given away, your giveaway, registered and approved, that's why a lot of companies, when they're doing, they just don't want to deal with it, so they say not applicable in Quebec. So for the people in Quebec watching us and saying, "Damn you, why can't I participate?" It's, talk to your own government.
Now you know, and knowing's half the battle.
Knowing's half the battle. So,
we should watch that. That's probably a DMCA strike there by saying that.
But no.
Anyway.
Is it? Or is it fair use? Anyway, so Iris has you can download the tracks. If you go under Create, you can actually get a copy of the physical license, which is very important. AZ Updates, our countdown music is like the little elevator music. We had to get a license. We got scared all of a sudden because while I was doing the research for this stream, I started looking at the paper licenses that we have for the other stream, and then I realized that I couldn't find the license for the purchased. So I kind of called a few people like, where's the license? And we found it. We found the license. So Seth sent me over the PDF, and we have a license up to 10 million downloads. So
Nice.
if AZ Updates ever gets to 10 million, hey, let's put it this way. If we ever get to 10 million, I'll pay for the license out of my pocket.
You better be monetizing that if you're getting 10 million downloads.
Well, that's my point, is if we get to that, we'll monetize it. And no, I will not agree to letting bots get it up to 10 million.
Exactly. No, that makes sense. With the music I bought from a company called Triune Media. There's a podcast, or I shouldn't say a podcast, a YouTube channel called Film Riot that I followed for years.
Yep.
And they started a digital media store. And yes, I am her. Yes, we know that he makes a lot of money on Stream Beats, no doubt about that. But I like the fact that Harris is doing a good job of giving back to the community at the same time. If you're a small streamer, you could totally use this stuff.
He makes a lot of money, but the stuff that, if you go to the Stream Beats website, so streambeats.com, and you go to the create section and you download, because you can download all of the tracks and use them in your content creation, then he gets nothing.
Right.
He only gets money if you're streaming it through Apple Music or Spotify or any other of those service. If you download them and use them, he gets nothing. But I've actually, there was a stream where he explained it. He doesn't care. That's not the reason why he created this.
Yeah. And the great thing about what he's offered, I use his Stream Beats off of Spotify. I'll gladly pay him, via my Spotify subscription to use it when I go live on my personal channel. It's a tremendous resource to have. And when it comes to Triune, though, I purchased those. You got to look at the legal of those. And I love the licensing I got from Triune. Basically, their license says if I have a project that has up to, I believe it's $100,000, or again, I think it's $100,000 or $200,000. If the budget is less than $100,000 or $200,000, I can just use the music, no problem.
Yep.
If I have something above that, I just have to say, because they are a movie company, they expect the credits, and there's Triune Digital and the name thing. If you take a look at our channel, the first show is up on YouTube. Yeah. I have actually put the 2 songs in there. We didn't have to do that, but I put them in there anyways because they're great. It's great music. I am Pure says now you can grab stems and play with them yourself. That was the great part from Triune. I got not only like the 30-second or the 1 minute 30 that they've created, I also got all the stems, every aspect. I can totally remix this thing if I want to.
Yeah,
which is kind of awesome, and I hope to play with it a bit. I'd like to make little stingers out of it for instead of having a minute 30, have a 10-minute stinger from it so that I can put that on the YouTube videos.
A 10-minute stinger transition? Isn't that a little excessive?
No, I 10 seconds. Sorry, 10 seconds. Goatee PFE pointed out that you can use Fiverr. I'll go ahead and we do have where if you post something with a URL, you're going to get timed out. So you should be untimed out here shortly.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna.
Fiverr is good, but there's varying degrees of quality in Fiverr. Yeah. You have to be very careful.
Yeah, but always. There's also, I have a couple people that so there's another two YouTube channels I absolutely love watching. One of which is a person who did a whole bunch of, well, that was interesting. I just lost all my
Oh, first glitch. Take a drink.
Take a drink. Drink. Edge crashed on me.
I like for that while you're restarting your Edge. I like there's one that's called Gaming Careers that I watch because he's got it's gaming careers, but it's a lot of like streaming and product reviews and about gear. It's about the same as we do, but they're more professional and they've got a bigger audience. And Ariseller, of course. Scott Enselman also has some. Okay, I think I just lost Jared. So glitch number 2. Have a drink. Woo!
Hello again.
Yeah. Did we get you? Are you on your phone now?
I'm on my phone now because I've had a full-on another glitch.
Well, you froze, so I still have the freeze frame of your last broadcast.
Yes, figured you did.
Plethora of problems. So is that a double drink?
I guess this might be a double drink for everyone. Yeah, this is so much fun. Oops, let me flip that over. There we go.
Okay.
They're going to hold it with that hand while I'm trying to figure out what the bloody blue blazes is going on with this system.
So at least now Rick and Joey can't say that our stream goes well and theirs
goes
smoothly.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so let's get back to our topic of the day because we've got 20 minutes left.
Yep.
So we've talked about music and licensing, and that's one thing. The licenses that we can use are the Creative Commons, and go to the website for Creative Commons. There's a lot of information about that. And then there's what's supposed to be called fair use.
Right.
So fair use, according to the copyright.gov website, is a framework to determine whether something is fair use and identifies certain types of uses, such as criticisms, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. However, if you're commenting and doing a criticism of a piece of music online, the people... Okay, why is your finger in the lens?
Oh, sorry. I'm switching back because I'm switching back. And I'm trying to mute the heads. Mute the.
There we go.
All right, he's back. He's back. Anyway, so fair use, as far as I know, is a U.S. thing. So it's part of the Section 107 of the Copyright Act in the U.S. I have not had a chance to find anything about fair use in the Canadian Copyright Act, or whether or not there's any such thing in Europe or outside of North America.
And I haven't found it in any international law or any sort of other areas. However, the places that I've looked for fair use conversations, when it comes to international, there is, I believe, something in the UK. Almost every country has some sort of use of fair use, but not every country is the same. That's I know, for example, if you in France, there is no such thing as fair use. That's what Google's running into with like having their news website. Same thing in Spain. There is no fair use. So they try to say, well, we're showing news on Google as fair use. And Spain's like, no, you still need to pay them for it. And so that's why they stopped showing news in Spain and France.
Well, I know Australia is going through that right now, where there's lately there was a legislation that was being proposed. I don't know if it went through, to force aggregator like Google's, like MSN, for example, when they're reposting somebody's, everything Google does is fair. Am I right? Yeah. Agree to disagree.
Yeah, that's not a spot that
Yeah.
I don't want to even tread.
But the fact is, they in Australia, if now Google or any aggregator wants to repost the Guardian's article on their government criticism, they have to pay the Guardian, and it should be, because eventually, if the reporters are not making money, they'll stop doing the job, and then the only source of information is going to be either the government or Uncle Bob on Facebook, who's giving you his legal opinion of whether or not, or his scientific understanding of whether or not the vaccine is injecting nanoparticles that will give me 5G connection.
I just gotta say, I have my first 5G phone, and I'm not seeing an increase at all in my 5G reception.
It only comes in when you get your second shot.
I got the Johnson & Johnson. It was one and done, baby.
Oh, okay. Well.
I will say this also. I still have not gotten my prehensile tail.
Okay.
Moving on. Yeah.
So fair use. I would not rely on fair use, the fair use argument, for anything, because really, whoever owns the copyright probably has enough lawyers to prove that your fair use was not fair use. I have used a piece of music from a band called Great Big Sea. That they did a cover of REM's "It's the End of the World as You Know It" for a session I did in Houston for TechEd. And it was the end of wait a minute. The end of support for Windows 2003. So it was in 2013. It had been 10 years. So it was the opening music for my session at TechEd, full room. It started, "It's the end of the world as you know it," and we're gonna get stricken now because I've sang
it.
I've sang it. I should have thought about that.
Here.
We're gonna have to bleep that.
Yes, we are.
Anyway, so I called the management company for that band. Anyway, I got written permission from the band to use it, but I did not get permission for the recording, so we could play it live at the show, but they had to cut it out for the Ignite on-demand viewing.
All in all, that's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but I asked.
Yeah.
The same reason where last year at Ignite, I had a session where I wanted to use the picture of, if you've seen The Office, Office Space.
Yes.
With the manager that's leaning it with this cup of coffee, saying, like a screenshot of him saying, "If you could get that done, that'd be great." I call a company. I got the okay from the company who owns the movie. But I was informed that I also need the okay from the artist himself.
The actor?
Yeah. Except that actor has no Twitter that he runs himself. No Twitter, no Instagram. He's like really doesn't do the whole thing. So I had to go through his agent, which never returned my call ever.
Ugh.
So I ended up having to dress up as him and do a parody of him myself, which turned out to be just as funny because if you're presenting that session in Europe, a lot of people might not have seen the Office Space there. They know The Office, the original, maybe not the US-based one.
Right. Nope, that makes sense.
But yeah, so we always have to ask and show me the paper.
Yep. That was the thing when I presented at Ignite 2018. I had to totally change my deck when that happened.
Yeah, and that's what
Um,
Silver Fox is there for.
Yes. I was doing my presentation at the time was SRE, an unexpected journey, and I made a lot of references to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and they're like, "Did you contact them?" I'm like, "No," and they're like, "You can't do this." I'm like,
Yep.
"Okay." So I did, however, sneak in one. I removed all references except I did sneak in one in the middle, as I spoke about the on-prem servers as my precious.
Well, if we are quoting it, yeah,
I was doing it verbally. It wasn't any audio. It was me doing it.
yeah, that'll work. But yeah, so for people who don't know, whenever we submit content to Ignite or Build or any of the first party, there's a service called ServerFox that basically reviews all of your content for any image, mentions, audio or video, and you need to provide the list of your accreditation and or the paper license for all of the content that's in there. So I used to have a deck for one session on disaster recovery that had a whole bunch of pictures of disasters.
Yeah.
So I had to go back and find the original picture in the newspaper or the news article where it had been scraped from, contact the photographer, because the newspaper always has the accreditation, and say, I'm going to use this here and for all of the pictures. And for some, I couldn't find it. So I had to go and find a Creative Commons version of something similar to use. It took a long time.
That's the thing. So my presentation ended up being me telling a story, and my deck was just basically pictures to help pop the message at that time.
Yeah,
and
but those
all my
pictures, like even in PowerPoint, when you go insert pictures online, none of those pictures you have a license for.
Nope. So I had to go through and find all the pictures I found, but I was lucky enough. I knew this was going to happen. So when I found them online, they were all Creative Commons. I grabbed all the information, including the link to the picture. So my actual deck includes all the links to the photographer, the Creative Commons license, the fact that
the Creative Commons on that one, the note can't be in the attribution can't be in the note. It has to be on the slide so that people that see the picture also see the attribution.
Which I did, but then I put more details, including a link to each picture, in the notes.
Yeah.
So I had and the Silver Fox people were like, "Wow, this is great," and I'm like, "Yes, I'm a photographer. I know how to attribute other photographers."
Yeah.
And 3 of the pictures were my own, and I put my own Creative Commons license on it, even though I owned it. And the funny part was the person I was working with from Silver Fox. They're like, "Well, who's this person?" I'm like, "That's me." And they're like, "Oh, that's why the attribution was slightly different."
Yeah,
because it was me, and I could put my name. Other places I was putting usernames.
Yeah, usernames, or a lot of times if you find something, you'll get the author unknown or artist unknown.
In those cases, I chose not to put those pictures in. I only took anything where I got an actual author. So.
Oh, I just got a notice from Twitch. Your Twitch account blocked login. Patch and switch. We've noticed a recent attempt from your login Twitch account from Ottawa, Ontario. Device window 10.
Nice.
So that's where we were having some issues earlier. Now, one more glitch. Have a drink.
Yeah, exactly. Drink. Oh, goodness gracious. This is why we test in production.
That's right. So yeah. Pictures are one thing, videos are another. Fair use is something that we have to be very, very, very careful about. Memes is the black sheep of the herd.
memes are so dangerous, but they're so prevalent today.
Yep.
They take people either photos or videos. I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, one of my favorite memes is the scene from Seinfeld where when and I say this when somebody says like hello, I'll use this GIF in whatever chat room, and it's Seinfeld. There's an infamous scene where he's hello, la la la. This weird. I can't explain how it happened in the episode, but and they have this one GIF of him doing this to an ex-girlfriend. And Patch and Glitch is my favorite meme. Okay, there we go.
Is there a meme for Patch and Glitch or Patch and Switch?
We need to make a Patch and Glitch meme, I think.
Any artists out there? Yeah, we need to do one.
Yeah.
And we will release it with Creative Commons.
Yes, exactly. But there is
there is now.
There is now. Okay, yeah, exactly. We've done it's Fuel. You better get a trademark on it quick if you want to. Anyways. But it's something that we have, personally. I use memes all the time. I use GIFs all the time. I mean, I'm the guy on my team that responds in GIF format. And I have like a whole bunch of GIFs just ready to go.
Oh, I understand. I do the same in our team's chat as well.
Yeah. But register that domain.
Patchandglitch.com.
Okay, actually, that's not a bad idea. If it's available.
So yeah, so we've got we talked today about music, content creation
video.
using other people, video, audio, photos, and now memes. And memes, it's one thing to use memes on Twitter, but I've gone to conferences where every other slide is a meme.
Yeah.
And that would work. That would fly in like a meetup. But if you are trying to present to like Google I/O, Ignite, any of those big conferences that have legal representation that go over the deck, I don't know if that would work. I don't know what the legal, and I can't find anything specific. And I did look. I couldn't find anything specific to say what the legal status of meme is.
And it's a question mark out there.
Yeah.
It is. It really is.
So I would
and bot.
Hey?
And bot.
Quick, register the domain. $2.99. Too late.
I've already grabbed it.
So what are we going to point it to, though?
That's a good question. I got to figure that out. But I own the domain. That's all that matters.
We need to get a picture of Rick or that's in process of an accident or at the emergency room, and just post the picture on a website and point Patch and Glitch to that.
Or it could just be me just going, ah!
Or just your feet sticking out from under your desk as you're pulling wires.
Exactly.
And I'm just looking and making sure that my boss was not on the stream while I said that.
On the stream, when you said that, nice.
We have 5 minutes before we need to go back to work.
Yes, we do.
That's another thing we're trying to test in production, whether or not we can finish on time.
A good question if we can or not.
Yeah.
But copyrights, I mean, when it comes to copyrights, just remember this. If you're trying to do something on, like I'm trying to do game streaming on Twitch and eventually editing it and posting it on YouTube, I want to get paid for that work eventually. Yep. So you should make sure you pay for other people's work as well.
Yep.
They work hard.
And that goes for blogs. Our ITOUpstocks.com, Anthony and I have been subject to that many times, where there's some people out there that come in and do a complete scrape, image, word for word of the blog post, and they put it on their blog, and they don't change the attribution, and then they publish it.
Yeah.
If you say, hey, and put a first sentence or a one paragraph on top of this says, Pierre talked about this in his latest blog. I'm reposting here to, but give me attribution.
Oh yeah.
And a link back to the original.
And that's always the difficult part, is to get people to. I've seen where people have made a name for themselves by just blatantly copying blogs. And it is, as I Am Per says, not cool. It's not cool at all.
No.
Yes, you and Anthony may not be getting paid to blog specifically by like advertising on the blog.
No.
You get paid by Microsoft to blog.
Yes.
So you're lucky.
Yes.
But take it, and this is where I take a look at folks like some friends of, some people we know, Mary Jo Foley and Paul Thurrott and the folks at like Windows Central and stuff. You just hope they hotlink the image and
yeah, then you change the image to something, but
yeah, but that's they live and die by their words. That's where they have to monetize. And for example, I know, I hate going to news websites because they have so many bloody ads.
yeah, that's why I have a pie hole in the house.
But that's why I also pay. Like I'm a Thurrott premium member because I want to pay for Thurrott and the I try and pay for sites where I can, so I can get a no ad version.
I want to pay. I can pay. I have no problem paying for if I'm getting value.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But podcasts are doing that big time, and that's how they make it easier, and that's how they can get away with. Or streamers are getting away from being totally reliant on, if they get DMCA strike, they lose money. Well, if you use Patreon, okay, so what if I get the advertising money from YouTube is great, but let's talk Patreon. They can actually get money. And that may be a great subject for the future. We can bring in, I know of a couple of people, and I know they'd be willing to jump in and talk with us. One of whom, his name's, his channel on YouTube is Blanco Lirio. And he's a commercial pilot who has a Patreon now, and I pay for his Patreon because he talks about aircraft incidents. Well, he gets demonetized because he's talking about bad news. Even though I still see bloody ads in YouTube.
Oh yeah, no. YouTube is any platform is a bit of a hypocrite that way, where they'll demonetize you, meaning they're not going to pay you, but they'll still collect the revenues.
Oh, exactly. And so he has switched over to using Patreon as trying to make it his primary source of income from his video work because he's a commercial pilot. Well, he offers a great background. Like I said, if you check him out on YouTube, it's Blanco Lirio is the name of his channel.
Yep.
And he has been on a couple of other podcasts. I bet we could, as long as he's not flying, I bet we could get him on here and chat about that.
Yeah.
And chat about what he's had to do as a creator.
But as a creator too, if you're taking somebody else's work and passing it as your own, and it's not just about the monetization. For me, it's not just the unfair use of my work, which I find is disgusting, but it's also if his own followers realize that. And sometimes I will go into the comments of a blog that has been lifted from me, and in the comments I will say, "Not cool, bro, you stole my work from," and then and typically very soon after he deletes the comment, of course, but it's at least it's there for a little bit. But it's the credibility. So all the people that read that particular blog, when they realize that, then that person's reputation is now mud.
And it
Because-
starts to really reduce their. Now, I'll say I have on my site. I do have. I utilize a service called NewsBlur RSS reader.
Yeah.
And I can share blogs that articles that I find interesting. But Fuel Snobble says, "Well, my strategy is to write content that is so bad that nobody copies it."
I just
It's
read that.
successful so far. That's off to you, sir.
Yeah, I don't think my boss would be too impressed if I took that strategy, or Microsoft would be too impressed if I took that strategy.
Yeah.
Well
But
played, well played, sir. Well played.
I've been bad about posting on my own blog and writing to my blog, but I have a page called In the News, and like I said, I pull articles, and what I do is the way the Blur blog system works is I can put like a little paragraph or something.
Yeah.
And so what I've done is I've said, hey, as an example, the last thing I added was HBO, an article that Thurrott had posted about HBO Max adding a cheaper ad-supported tier.
Yeah.
And I just mentioned I would not, pay for any service that still has ads, blah blah blah. And then I link to the article from Thurrott's site, so you can go read what he wrote.
Yeah. So you're not paraphrasing, you're basically summarizing. And if you want to see the details, go see Thurrott, because he does a better job than me. That is completely fair. And to me, that is fair use.
Yep. And I think it's beyond fair use, because I want to try and drive people to his site, or to I've posted some of the stuff that you guys have posted on the IT Ops Talk site, that kind of stuff. Well, we're running out of time here. It is Friday. It is the weekend. I now need to figure out why this thing crashed yet again. I'm not happy about this.
Yeah, so. And we're going to get out on this stream with some music from Stream Beats, Mr. Harris Heller, the Stream Doctor.
Excellent. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Enjoy. I know we have a couple. It's Victoria this weekend, right?
Victoria Day this weekend. Next week, Build.
And then the week after is Memorial Day here in the United States. Stay safe. Please have fun with your family, but don't do anything dumb like drinking and driving.
No, it's not worth it.
Not worth it at all. We want to see you back here in 2 weeks.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.